The smoke is this way. By all the moons and waters. It's a ship. I mean, it was a ship. Can we be sure this was Genequi's ship? No, mistress. But the circumstantial evidence is very strong. Did someone blast it from the sky? Really, mistress? That seems speculative, to say the least. What could do that? Eagles are supposed to breathe fire, aren't they? What? There are no eagles, mistress, as you well know. Obviously, it exploded on attempting to rise from the surface, mistress. The mangled pieces rained down at high velocity, ricocheted, and buried themselves into the dust. In short, I am surprised there is anything left. It says with a little smile on its face. Shaniqui? Most likely not. Interesting. Changed its tune immediately. Renba didn't hop her down. He landed his boat. Tried to. Or else he wasn't able to return. There are traces of an explosive propellant, mistress. I suspect Master Renba attempted to detonate himself off the surface of the moon. Oh dear. I wonder why Renba didn't use a hopper to get down here. Landing his ship must have been almost impossible. Was he a devout believer in the loop, perhaps? The loopists believe hoppering is like throwing oneself into a river. It is intended for the dead. It removes part of the soul. Okay. Well, now we know what they do with their dead. Renba lost more than part of his soul down here. Indeed, mistress. So, okay, so first off, yes, so we have determined that they yeet their dead off the planet. That is what they do. They yeet it off the planet. They yeet it into space. Going out into the river is how you lose part of your soul, I guess, apparently. So what I'm thinking about is how the game has very consistently told me that something is true when I don't actually have enough evidence for it to be true. Six tells me that Renba left this cache here when we don't actually know that for sure. And now it's Renba came to this, and then it was Renba came to this moon, and then it was, this is Renba's crashed, and then it was, well, we don't know who crashed here. Wait, no, it was definitely Renba. So I don't know if there's a weakness in the writing, if something is going weird where it's supposed to be that I'm getting these different pieces of information as they walk around. And because I get distracted by that, I'm just trying to get all of the dialogue out of the way at once before I continue moving on. Or there's a weakness in the writing. I'm honestly not sure what's going on. But okay, I guess I guess we now know for sure that Renba exploded himself on this moon while he was trying to leave. I guess he couldn't get that chest open. Blackened. Presumably, the ship was still burning as it fell. The fire here must have burnt up a lot of air. The remaining atmosphere is thin, mistress. Still, I believe the fire was extinguished before it consumed the whole ship. This was the hull. It must have been an explosion, mistress. Enough to be seen on Mercy. And Janaqui? Mistress, there is no hope. Janaqui must have been sailing when it fell. He cannot possibly have survived. I suppose. I always assumed we would find Renba. I didn't. I assumed... I don't know. Mayari made it sound like he'd run away. Perhaps you can take the matter up with Renba in his next life, mistress. So what do we do now? Return to Ajax and inform Professor Mayari, mistress. Yes, of course you would say that. Of course you would say that. I am going to continue to try not to go back to Ajax for as long as possible, because... Screw that noise. Is there a way down? There might be more clues down there. I do not believe it would be wise, mistress. Indeed, I believe it would be quite the opposite. Yeah, well, you haven't been a fan of anything I've done today, so... Good ticket. Parkour! Parkour! No, okay. Apparently no parkour today. Saw a dot, though. Dot, dot, dot. Ah! Ah! That looks awkward. There's something wedged under here. Seems to have survived the fire. Please, please don't be an arm. It's not an arm. Battered figurine, fashioned from silver. I would guess it dates from the early Empire? This must have been aboard Janaqui's ship. Another of his finds. The ancient gods still had some presence in Empire times then. But I wonder if these statues were devotional, or if they were simply old and precious. The maker didn't add an inscription on his arm. Yoink! I'd guess that this comes from the same site as the ribbon of paper and the book that we found on the site of Renba's cache. There must have been a strong connection between the two sites. This is so weird. Okay, fine. I guess I just gotta deal with it that she can kind of intuit where things came from, and that's how we get new locations, and I think I just gotta deal with it. What I can't figure out is this. What was Renba doing finding ancient sites? He must have been following some kind of trail, mistress. But how that trail began and where it was leading him. Whoa, angry face. Most unclear. Perhaps he was looking for more robots. IOX must be running low. Especially since they keep giving them to you. I feel very torn about the banter. Like, I don't know. I don't have a clear thought to say about it yet, but something about the way that these two interact kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I can't quite say what it is. Like, I don't have a problem necessarily with an antagonistic or difficult relationship, but, like, I think maybe the main thing really is just that it's, like, the only relationship other than Mayari and Huang, and that was for a very short period at the beginning of the game, that, like, and just nothing but antagonism the entire time I'm trying to play the game is not actually that pleasant. It must have burned for days. Fool, Rinba.